Hey everyone, hope you had a good and safe weekend and that you turned in your process essay drafts on time Friday, which most of you did. Overall, I'm pretty happy with them. Now you know how this works. This week is revision week, so look at my feedback, make the requisite changes, and resubmit in the final draft folder. Also this week, we are going to start talking about research papers. These last three papers have relied on personal experience to tell information, but our final essays will use actual research that you conduct yourself. First up is the compare and contrast essay. I'll throw in a sample to this weekend's reading so you can have an idea of what you're in for. Note the citations throughout the essay. Why is this more complicated? Well, when you use information from someone else in your own work, you have to give them credit, and that's only fair. But with MLA formatting, you have to give them credit twice, and you have to do it in a very specific way. First, when you mention information from a source in your piece, you have to say where it's from. According to the New York Times on September 14th, 2018, or the SIC website states that, you get the idea. You can also omit giving credit until the end of the sentence and then put the source in parentheses, and you see this a lot. Check out the example compare and contrast essay in this weekend's reading to see what this method looks like. Remember that if you are about to repeat something you heard from somebody else, you have to mention where you got it. This is extremely important because if you forget, you are committing plagiarism, which is something that colleges and universities take very seriously. The bad thing is that most people who commit plagiarism do it by accident. They aren't intentionally trying to rip off someone else's work. They just forget to mention where they heard something. Don't let this happen to you. When you use sources, make sure you are correctly attributing all of the information you use. Now, I mentioned earlier that you have to give your source credit twice. What does that mean? Well, the first time I just mentioned, when you give information from a source, you mention right then and there where it's from. So the second time you have to give the source credit is at the very end of a research paper in the Works Cited page. This comes after your entire paper and is really just a list of your sources. The formatting on each Works Cited page source is pretty weird and very easy to mess up, honestly. Luckily, there are some websites that will generate Works Cited page sources for you, and that takes out a lot of the guesswork. For the reading this weekend, you are going to read a lot about research papers, sources, and works cited pages. I know this is dry stuff, but you'll need to know it for next week when we start writing the compare and contrast paper, which uses research. So buckle down and get to reading after you revise your process essay, of course. Good luck, you guys. Reach out if you need any help.